Good morning, everyone. I see several of you coming on. I'm trying to navigate a couple things here, so please forgive me, my distraction. I'm trying to let people get in and also get our dedication practice up. And so I'm going to check in first to see, for those of you who are looking at the screen, if it looks like the majority of the poem is there, part of the poem. And I think as I move it, you probably can't see it all. So I'm just going to check in with someone. Can you give me some feedback on that?
Most of it's there.
Just scroll it up and down. Yeah. Scroll it up and down. Scroll it up and down.
I'll make it a little bit smaller this morning so we can see the whole thing.
Yep.
I did send that to as many people as I, who I thought might be here or might be interested in it. So some of you may have this copy this morning, and I will be reading this throughout the practice. Yes, you can see as I scroll. Thank you, Satya. That's helpful. I hope you're having a beautiful rainy morning. I have to say the rain feels delightful to me. And of course, because we're not in a deluge, it feels particularly good. Somebody's letting me know they're having a little trouble getting in. So again, we'll just wait another few moments. I hope everyone knows that today is our gentle yoga practice with Liz, and we'll be practicing and then stopping somewhere between 8:15 and 8:20 so that you can get a little water, use the restroom, and get back here ready with your mat for our 8:30 yoga practice together. This is EMC's little trial. We're going to see if we know that movement's critically important. That's not on trial. We know that being in the body is essential for one's health, well-being, happiness, and connection. And so Liz is so gracious, so kind to us. And thank you, Liz, for being willing to offer this. I'd like to talk to Liz a little bit once she gets settled and back about how we can make an offering to her or to a community, a charity of her interest, and see how that goes. We'll stay together and as we investigate that. Those are important things that we do. So it looks like, Carrie, you're on, and it says co-host, yeah. So I'm guessing you're actually
I'm muting people and letting them in.
I'm thinking. Liz, I just saw that you came on too. Liz, when you're on, will you just come online for a minute and so we can talk and make sure we've got the stuff we need?
I think I'm here, Diana. Diana, can you hear me and see me? It's Liz.
Let me go to Liz here.
There you are.
Oh, Liz, there you are. Can you unclick, Liz? I know it's a little bit tricky. It takes a little practice for us.
What do you want me to unclick? Sorry, I'm having internet problems this morning, so we're kind of setting me up in a different way. So
I might be able. You look unmuted to me, but I can't hear you.
I am unmuted. You can't hear me?
Huh.
She is unmuted.
Hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you and see you now.
So Liz, I see that you're not on mute, but I can't hear you.
Can anybody else hear me?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was me, Liz. I apologize. I had an all mute situation. Liz, one of the things I was just saying that we're going to be getting ready for your beautiful offering this morning at 8:30. I'm going to try to stop around 8:20 and give people a little opportunity to use the restroom and get their mats or whatever they need for 8:30. And one of the things I was suggesting to the community is that they could make some kind of offering to you and a charity or an organization or something that you would be invested in. Is there any specific way we might be able to do that?
Well, Diana, thank you. That's very generous of you. I honestly would love any offerings to go back to EMC in this community, and I just truly mean that. That would be the best place for any offerings to go.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
I will
thank
let
you.
the community know. We value and prize your participation and your offerings. So as long as you're clear, and I know that money is one small part of any exchange and often not as, isn't representative of our true value of you. So thank you for that. And I would encourage the community to regard Liz's request that any offerings just be directed back to EMC, where we are currently continuing to use it for Bishwa Seva. We're not paying for our little student right now, by the way, just so everyone knows, because there's no school in Nepal. So we have not, this year, I don't think we've used the monies in that way. But of course, as you know, we're using the money for CRC. We're now preparing for holiday basket time. I will have Cindy maybe come forward later and talk just a minute about opportunities for volunteering more live for ways to begin to help the CRC with the distribution of their all their beautiful offerings to the 900 families. I think they're 200 seniors. Cindy knows this a little better, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Here we are. I'm going to hand over the admitting Carrie to you if you like your.
Yep, I'm on it.
You're okay with that? Okay.
Yep.
I knew you were having a little internet challenge. So.
No, I'm fine. It's not me. I'm
Oh,
good.
okay. Great. All right. Then I'm going to click out of this and let me move it so I can actually do it. Thank you, Robin. We would love that opportunity for Tai Chi. That's another beautiful offering. Thank you so much, everyone. These are very, very lovely. I thought I saw Mike on. I want to say hi. We don't get to see Mike that often.
I'm here.
Hi there, Mike. Good to see you.
Nice to be seen.
I'm not somehow, you're not in my screen and I never know enough about that, how to make that really happen.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not in
I do
my
see you now.
I'm not in my screen either.
Oh, I see. Well, that's perfect. Yes, that's exactly right.
So you guys are getting some rain. We're waiting for some snow.
Yeah,
Couple
wow.
inches of snow.
Very exciting. It's all important.
Yeah.
It's all
But we've
important.
had all-time record lows and all-time record highs in the last 2 weeks.
Wow. There it is. Well, I would say that's true at almost every level.
Yeah.
I've noticed myself feeling some of those very same experiences, and the beauty of our practice, of course, why we're all here this morning, is because in the midst of the storms of highs and lows, ups and downs, right, lefts and rights, reds and blues, state going this way, state going that way, I've been pretty careful, truthfully, not to be watching much. Because I know that we can get caught in the tide. We have to anchor and establish ourselves first. That's what we're going to do today. And so today, I really felt strongly that I wanted to go back to some of the tradition, to some of the basics. And the Shanti Deva prayer is probably one of my personal favorites. We take lines of this prayer often in our aspiration making. But for me particularly, the whole of the prayer is both beautiful, timely, necessary for us to reflect on, to recollect, and to practice. So we're going to review that again today. So I want to just check in. I'm going to assume everyone can see at least some of the lines for it. And again, we're just doing practice today. We'll take a quick break, answer questions about CRC, hopefully, for those who are interested, and then get ready to start our gentle yoga with Liz at 8:30. Very excited about that. So I'm going to see if I can't get out of this because I'm a little trapped. Got all kinds of things in front of my. Move this up so I see what happened. There we go. I can't get to my buttons to even get the things out of my way. Here we are. Okay. So this is Shantideva's dedication. I'm going to read the whole thing, and then I'm going to be reciting lines throughout the practice. We're going to be resting in stillness and silence today. We're going to be generating the compassionate heart based on Shantideva's call. This is something we all, whether you know the word Shantideva, who was the architect of the way of the bodhisattva, a beautiful, many 10,000 verse tome to the path of the bodhisattva. So whether you know his name or you don't know his name, whether those teachings resonate with you, what I do know resonates for you, and I'm counting on you. I know that the open, loving, embodied, boundless heart resonates. And I really know from talking with some of you that it's doing so now, that your own wish for peace, for our country, for resolution, for non-conflict, for regarding our fellow woman, man, and child, for regarding the earth. I hear all of you as we talk, even in small moments, say, this is important, this is meaningful to me, this is why I practice. And it is. That's why we practice. And so Shantideva has some instruction for us as it relates to that. And so let's see what Shantideva has to say. So prepare for sitting, because it will be a little more helpful, I think, if you can just move right from these words. Establishing ourselves in sitting with that sense of the gift, the preciousness, the dignity of this human body, which we're going to be embodying further later. But even now, as we sit, just begin to turn the attention there. Holding the body lovingly. Your attention. Watchful for the habits of being critical or seeking the unpleasant. Oh, this aches, this. See if you can hold the whole body like that loving mother holds the baby, the infant. And then we open the ears for these teachings, as well as opening the heart. Let the words resonate not only through the ear, but the whole body being. Remember, we're cultivating a most loving, a most kind, a most gentle attitude. And so settle back. Draw the upper body slightly back over the hip, not pressing forward into the next moment. And then taking a few big, deep breaths. Grounding ourselves, settling the upper body into the lower, the base. See if you can even enjoy the breath in its expanse. Big, deep breathing in and out. And then let the breath find itself, settle into itself, its own rhythm. We're going to steady the mind a little bit before we activate the heart's aspiration. And you're making contact not only with the sense of the body, the physical felt sense, but the space around you. Letting the breath take the body, settling it into the earth. And remembering that this is not a practice of stopping thinking. It's a practice of placing the mind again and again on purpose on the objects of our meditation practice right now being this whole body sitting here. Knowing the body is one of the first instructions of the Buddha. Know this body as this body. And this means not knowing by thinking, but knowing by direct experience. Not the moment before, not the moment to come. Just this body, this moment. And you're beginning to stabilize, to settle and still the mind, that mind of all awakened ones, this still, unmovable mind. You're beginning to notice when the thinking mind wanders. This is a part of our essential mindfulness practice. Seeing the nature of mind, but not mistaking it for me or mine. the bodhisattva vow. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits, right from this practice. By virtue of my merits and this practice. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. Let's just breathe that in for a moment. By virtue of this very sitting here, with the aspiration to end suffering and to contribute to the good and the welfare of all beings. May all beings obtain an ocean of happiness and joy. If the mind has wandered off into thoughts about the words, the phrases, the call, invite the mind home, back to the body, back to the sensations of the breath. Maybe back to the invigoration, the vitalization of the heart and this aspiration. Where do you feel the truth of this alive in your own body? May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with a mind weighed down by depression. This is Shanti Davis pointing to the truth of suffering. We steady ourselves so we can turn towards the truth. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with a mind weighed down by depression. Let that truth, however you know it, move through the whole of the body and breath. May no creature suffer. And it would be easy for the mind to move off into stories of the past where there has been suffering, maybe where there has been wrongs committed against you or by you. And it's really best to see if we can't stay anchored here in the present moment, in this very breath. The truth of suffering that is here. And the genuine wish for its end that is here, alive now. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. Can we find repose right here in resting our own minds? May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drink. May I offer the merits of this practice to the relief of all beings. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drink. May the poor find wealth. Those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May the poor find wealth. Those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, abiding, unending, unconditional happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. And if you're feeling that activation, that heart's longing, that deep hope we've talked about, go to the place in the body where that's resonant and rest there. The aliveness of your own aspirations, known in this body just like this. And remembering we're not thinking about the words, we're just letting the words immerse themselves, really sink into the body, to the bone. Breathing. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May we see the way with the good medicine of our own boundless hearts to the end of aggression, to the end of greed, which is the propagation of all disease. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other with it. May they find power and seek to benefit each other. May we use each thought, each word, and each deed to the benefit of each other. Staying in contact with the body, with the breath. Staying present, inviting this most loving, compassionate, and committed heart to fill the body mind with its wish for the end of suffering, with its wish that all be free. And then I notice with this aspiration how committed I am and how urgent it is to guard the mind. To guard the mind from the habits of wanting and not wanting. Liking and not liking. To guard and protect the mind so that we ourselves do not fall into the habits of prejudice, of bias, of righteousness. That we see the truth of ourselves in all beings, and we see the truth of all beings in us. This is the end of all separation, all disconnect, all enemy or other. This is where we begin to exchange ourselves. Me, just like you, just like you. The greed in me, just like you. The anger, the aggression, the hatred, the ill will, the enmity in me, just like you. The truth of ignorance, of limited belief thoughts, of old habits. Me, just like you. The capacity for awakening, for forgiveness, for mercy, the truth of generosity, of patience, of kindness and love. The wish for safety, for health, for well-being in these. Me, just like you. Wishing for all of these. And as we open to these essential truths, what I notice for myself when I remember is that I stop running. I stop looking somewhere else for the solution. I stop blaming. And the mind becomes still. And the heart opens wide. With room for all to fit in. And then we breathe it in. The hatred I think I see in another just like me. The greed just like me. The fear, the worry, the confusion just like me. And in the midst of the truth of the suffering, just like me, we offer the wish. And we don't offer the wish passively, we offer our whole mind, body, heart, beings. This is the offer right here. This is the showing up right here. Or let the anger dissolve into loving kindness. The cruelty dissolve into compassion. We don't hold ourselves apart. We join and merge and embrace. And we soften and then we open more. And more. And then we start to see the truth of suffering. It is in the gripping, in the clinging, in the separating, in the projecting, in the blaming, in the anger. You, just like me, want to be happy. You, just like me, want to be free. just like me, want to live in peace. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding rest and repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drink. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments, whatever diseases there are in the world. May they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be free. May the powerless find power, and may people think and act and speak in the benefit of each other. May you, just like me, be happy. May you, just like me, be free from pain and suffering. May you, just like me, find peace. May you, just like me, remember who you really are, a part of the whole, never to be divided, awakened and free. And as long as time and space endures, and as long as there are beings to be found, may I so too remain to wash away the sorrows of the world. And I'm wondering, as we get ready for the transition, if Cindy could come on, or Cindy and Greg, to talk a little bit about our CRC drive, holiday basket drive, and the opportunities. I wrote something about it. I will again on Sunday, but I think it'd be good to have just a brief review of what's going on there as people are getting ready for the gentle yoga practice coming up at 8:30. Is Greg, you or Cindy, is anybody there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cindy, can you just review the most recent volunteering? Because I think we need to make some decisions. The community needs to make a decision about whether they want to participate in that pretty quickly, I think.
Right, by Wednesday. So CRC put aside a few spots for EMC if anybody wants to volunteer in person. This year it's a drive-through and it's taking place at Miracosta, the Miracosta campus, which is on Manchester and Cardiff. And it's very specific times. It's only one time. It's 7 a.m. to 1. You have to commit for the 6 hours. And it's December 5th, Saturday, December 5th. People will drive up. And the items are very specific, as Diana said. She sent out in the newsletter, which is a completely separate thing. But basically, just boxes of things will be put into people's cars. So that's available, and I would need to know that by Wednesday because they need to know by Thursday morning if we can commit to that. And then the other one was very specific, brand new items that could be brought to the old Whole Foods on the 101 in Encinitas, and Carrie has graciously offered that items could be dropped off at her house if that seems unworkable. And there are specific times for Whole Foods where those items could be dropped off. And there was a link that we sent. I don't have that right here, but there was a link of, there's a bunch of dates and times. So
we're going to be able to continue to contribute items, those new items, like I remember seeing things like socks and blankets and puzzles and things that we know generally most families would both need and enjoy. I'm going to be shopping today for that, and I am going to be dropping it off at Carrie's. And so, Carrie, I think we have black or yellow or both bins in front of your garage.
Yeah, they're black with yellow tops.
Black with yellow tops. And Carrie's address is 1092 Aloha in Encinitas, right off of Santa Fe Drive there. And I think we're going to be able to make those donations either at Whole Foods in those specific times or at Carrie's all the way through. Does anybody have that date so people can be planning? It feels like Thanksgiving-ish.
yeah, it's around there. I don't have it right in front of me right now.
Okay, but I think we have about 2 weeks, let's say.
I'd say the end of the month, by the end of the month.
End of the month.
End of the month, yeah.
Okay, because I know there was a little tight drop, like after that, they've just got to get the boxes made.
And Cindy, can I ask you for those folks that decide I'm going to potentially go and volunteer, and obviously they need to get to you by Wednesday. The kind of protocols that CRC has in place that would make people feel a little bit better about doing that. How because obviously they're going to be in potential contact with a lot of folks. So how is CRC keeping them safe?
So they are, going by everybody wearing masks, 6 feet distance from anyone that's not in your family, in your household. They will have hand washing stations and disinfectant for people, and encouraging people to be washing their hands and doing that on a regular basis. And any other, I don't think they have gloves or anything like, they may have gloves. I'll have to.
I think they do.
Yeah, they'll have gloves.
Yeah.
And then any other thing, you would have your own PPE, so your own mask or whatever you need to, and it's all outdoors. So for the distributions, all outdoors in the parking lot.
So let Cindy know at Cindy_in San Diego@yahoo.com. Cindy, is that right?
That's right. And we have five spots available.
Okay,
There's
you can chat
spots
to Cindy
available.
here. You can chat to any of us here. You can send me an email. You can send Cindy an email. We have those about seven spots and 5 left, seems like.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
I just say just a couple more things quickly. So, I mean, the community has really done a fantastic job. Our community has in providing the $10,000 that we gave to CRC, and they greatly appreciate it. And that's all really, going into helping all of these people, not just to the holiday basket program, but to other programs that they have for people that are in need, don't have enough food, or need housing, or are abused in some way. So we've done a lot there, but I think really this is a big opportunity for you, whether you're going to volunteer in person or not, to really get these items to CRC. So this is kind of our last big shot for the year, because we're not really helping SUFK any longer. We'd love to, but they don't have any kids coming. There's really not a lot going on right now with Bishwa Seva, except for what we do on an annual basis. So this is our opportunity for the rest of the year. I think this is a big chance really to get something together and bring it over, and either bring it down to their shop or bring it to Carrie's. So it's easy to do. So that's it.
Wonderful. That's it. Thank you, Greg. It is important. I see that we're getting people committing already. Thank you so much for that. I would like to do that, Cindy. So could you please put my name down as one of those 7? And I think probably not too long, we will have a full house for that 7. And thank you all so much, because I know that it's deep considerations for your safety and well-being. It's not right for everyone, and that's also right. You best know how to make your contributions and how to be of benefit. And by the way, there's no one way. So thank you all for being conscientious and considerate of that. What's my way? What's the way I can contribute something? And it's unique, special, and wonderful. It does not have to be physical showing. It's not right for everyone. So I want to underscore that, because I think people go into, well, even though this isn't really right, maybe I should. No, you really shouldn't. That's not your way. I trust your way. That might be in infinite other beautiful, sometimes visible, sometimes not so visible ways, including our practice today. And that's what I want you to know. We begin just like this, planting the seed of goodness. And then I trust it's bloom, whatever way that's going to unfold. So I want to be respectful of Liz. She was kind enough to give us those extra few minutes for that important discussion. I'm going to transition now. What I'd like to do, Liz, if that makes sense to you, Carrie, I want to talk about this. Should we make Liz a co-host, or so that she doesn't really need any of the functions there, right?
No, she doesn't.
Okay, Liz, I don't know if there'd be any reason. You're going to be moving your camera your way, right? You'll have all that authority, and Carrie and I will be watching the screen for any other administrative issues. I don't think that's useful for you.
Okay. I just want to check in and make sure you can all hear me. I've been having internet problems this morning, so I'm all hooked up to my phone, and I just want to make sure that what I've hooked up is working for all of you, and you're going to be able to hear me. I got my earbuds in, and yeah, I don't think I need to be a host. I will just caution because I have to have my phone on. My daughter just hooked it up for me. Something could ring through and I apologize for that in advance. I've tried to turn off notifications, but I can't turn everything off because I'm using it. So I just wanted to share that as we settle in. So it looks like Diane is muted. And so I'm just going to let you do what you need to do for the next couple of minutes. Gather what you need for your practice, find a spot. If you have a yoga mat and blocks, great. If you don't, that's okay. You don't need them. I do suggest a blanket. A blanket is going to be nice to sit on, protect your knees, elevate your spine in some seated positions. And then when we have about 5 minutes at the end for Shavasana, if you're in a cooler place this morning, a blanket will be nice. And yeah, we're going to start on our backs. We're going to be reclined on our backs. So I'm just going to give everybody a couple minutes to shuffle around. You're welcome to keep your video on or not, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And we'll just get started here in a couple minutes. And as I said, we're going to be starting today in a reclined position. So as you're making your way to your mat, take your time. There's no hurry to get there. My suggestion is that we come into a constructive rest. So that's down on your back with your feet out to the edges of your space. If you don't have a mat, then your feet are just about 1.5 feet apart and your knees just fold into each other. And when your knees knock into each other and your feet are wide and down on the mat, this helps to protect your lower back. And then tuck your chin in, make sure that the back of your head is firmly supported by the mat or the space beneath you. And your palms can be turned up. And just take a moment to settle into your space. If this constructive rest doesn't feel comfortable in your body, then choose a position that does feel comfortable. We're just going to take a couple minutes here to come into our space, to connect to our breath before we start to move. Have that water by your side, any props nearby. Invitation is to place one hand over your belly and one hand over your heart space. And just start to arrive in your space for your practice. Remembering to listen to the wisdom of your body as we move together. You should never be pushing through any pain or tingling. And bring your attention back to your breathing. Using those inhalations to help quiet the mind. And your exhalations to help relax the body. And as you're settling in here, just notice how you're showing up this morning for this practice. Notice any tension you might be feeling in your body. Notice any areas where you feel ease. There's nothing to change, nothing to judge here. We're just noticing Just bringing awareness. We'll start to bring some movement to this breathing. So you can bring your knees up in the air, reach your hands so that your hands touch your kneecaps here. And it's just a nice slow movement to get us going. On the inhalations, we just push our knees back just enough so that our arms go to straight. And on the exhalations, we slowly pull the knees in. We can feel the thighs pushing our breath out of our belly. A nice deep exhalation. That's the flow here. Inhalations, the arms go to straight. Exhalation, pull the knees in. It's a nice and gentle pull. And notice the breath leaving the body. And as you're moving with this flow, notice if there's areas in your body that you can soften just a little bit more. Maybe soften your jaw and your teeth. Relax your brow. We connect to an Ujjayi breath in our yoga practice if that serves you. Those are inhalations and exhalations through the nose. We seal the lips, and there's a slight constriction in the back of the throat, so you should be able to hear yourself breathing. And that's just a suggested breath if that feels good for you. We'll find some stillness here. And then next time we pull our knees in, let's let our hips go nice and wide. So your right leg's going out to the right side, your left is going out to the left, and we're just going to take some big circles with our hips here. So you pull the knees in, you push them out to the right and left, and then you circle them around, just waking up the hips here. Some nice big circles. And then take those circles in the opposite direction. Remembering to breathe. And then again, we'll find stillness. And we'll release the soles of the feet to the mat. And the palms of the hands can come down by your side. Push into all four corners of both feet. Make contact with the ground beneath you. And then we're going to take the right leg and we're just going to reach it up to the sky. We flex the foot. The heel pushes up to the ceiling or the sky. And keep contact with that left foot on the mat. So engage the muscles in the left foot. Reach behind your right leg and just pull it towards you, waking up the hamstring here. Remembering to breathe. Beautiful. Release it back and just circle out the ankle. Circle it in both directions. You might hear some crackling and popping here. That's okay. And then we find stillness with that ankle and we pull the leg towards us again. You can keep the leg as bent, the knee as bent as you need to here. Again, pushing into all four corners of that left foot. The core is engaged. Release from that pull. And then simply reach up with your left hand. And this time we're going to guide our leg gently across the midline. So we're pulling it over to the left just a little bit. And then we're pulling it forward, waking up that outer hamstring, that IT band there. It's just a gentle pull over to the left. You don't have to go very far to feel that engagement. One more breath cycle here. And then we bring that leg back to straight and hug the knee in once. Just grab the shin, hug the knee in. And then release that foot to the ground. And we'll just take that slow flow on the other side. So making contact with both feet pushing into the ground. And then raise that left leg up into the air. The foot is flexed, the muscles are engaged. Push into the right foot. Reach behind your thigh. And then just pull it towards you. Just noticing how the hamstring feels this morning. Again, notice if you're brought tension or tightness to areas that you didn't need to bring into the pose. Can you soften your jaw, relax your brow, maybe tuck your chin in a little bit here. Release that hamstring, circle out the ankle, circling in both directions. And then we find stillness again and we pull it back one more time. Couple full breaths here. Inhalations and exhalations through the nose if that serves you. Releasing the tension again, and this time it's the right hand that comes up, and we pull that leg across the midline, just has to go about 6 inches, and then we pull it towards us, feeling that outer hamstring. Let's bring that back to center. And then just hug the knee in. And release that foot to the ground. Palms come by your side, hands come by your sides, palms are facing down. Bring both feet up. Legs up the wall, even though you don't have a wall here, or you could have a wall to support you, that's perfectly fine. And we're just simply going to touch the toes and then touch the heels. And then go back and touch the toes and touch the heels. Take this flow at your own pace, noticing the core. Remembering to breathe. And then we'll find stillness here. Maybe point and flex once or twice. And then release those feet, soles of the feet back down to the mat. The knees are up in the air. We're going to keep the left foot where it is. We're going to take the right and we're going to cross it over and make our figure 4. So you're crossing that left foot over, the right foot over the left. You're keeping that right foot flexed. That helps to protect the knee. And then a couple of options here. You can simply push that right hip away, that right thigh away, and notice the engagement there in the hips and the glutes. For a little deeper engagement, you can reach behind your left thigh, lift your left foot off the ground, pull that towards you. Maybe you reach behind your shin. Find the engagement that works for you here. You should be feeling this in the right hip, the right glutes. Remembering to breathe. And take one more breath cycle here. And then we'll release that right foot back down to the mat. Let's hug our knees in together just to find alignment in the hips before we take that on the other side. And then release the feet back down to the mat. Palms come down to the sides. And then it's the left foot that crosses over the right. This is our figure 4 here, keeping that left foot flexed. Option is to simply take your hand up and push open by pushing that left thigh away from you. You can also lift your right foot off the ground, grab behind your thigh or grab behind your shin and use your elbow to deepen the stretch here. Couple deep breaths. One more full breath cycle here. Beautiful. Release the right leg to the mat, uncross the left. And we'll hug our knees in one more time. You can make little circles here, keeping your knees together, just giving your lower back a little massage. And then we find stillness and we release the feet all the way down on the ground. We're going to bring our arms up in the air as if we're holding a beach ball here. So find some engagement. There's an imaginary beach ball that you're holding in your arms here. And then we're just slowly going to dip that beach ball down behind our head, bringing our arms behind us, finding length in the body. As your arms come towards the ground behind you, notice the side bodies opening, bring some breath into that area. And then we bring that ball back up. Couple more times here on the inhale, dip your arms down behind you, keeping that engagement as if you've got a ball there. And then bring it back up. One more time here. And then we'll all meet with the arms up in the air. Take a moment to arrive here, no hurry. We're simply going to fold the arms and grab the elbows. We're making a little square with our hands here. And then just pull over to the left, and maybe your gaze goes over to the right, just opening up the shoulders here. Bring those arms back through center. And just pull everything over to the right. Gaze can go over to the left. And then we return back to center. Reach those arms, keeping the square over your head, or bring them towards your forehead. And now we're going to circle. We're just going to take these big circles with our arms as a square. And you might hear some crackling and popping here. Remember to breathe. And after you've made about 2 big circles, just take those circles in the opposite direction. And then we find stillness with our arms overhead. And we release from our elbows, arms go straight up. And then we bring them back down to the mat. We're going to make our way to a seated position. You can simply roll over on your hips to get there, or if grabbing behind your thighs and rocking back and forth on your spine feels okay in your body this morning, then take a couple rocks back and forth. And we're all going to meet in a seated position on our mat. You can sit crisscross with your legs. Elevating yourself with a blanket really helps to lift the spine and make it more comfortable. You can even elevate yourself with a block. If sitting like this doesn't serve you, you could take a form of hero's pose. If you have a block or a book, sitting on that. Just find a position that feels comfortable in your body. And when we arrive there, sit nice and tall, navel into the spine. Let's all scrunch our shoulders up to our ears, find that tension. And then just roll it down your back. Let's roll out our neck a little bit here. Let's drop the chin down to the center. And then roll it over to the left. Roll that back through center. And then we'll bring it over to the right. Bring it back down through center. And this time we'll bring it up and just look at the ceiling. You can open up your jaw here, circle your jaw, take a deep exhalation, just release here. And then bring that chin back down to center. And now just circle it however it feels okay in your neck. You can take full circles going all the way to the back. You can simply look over your right shoulder and then look over your left shoulder. Maybe close your eyes, connect to breath, and just notice what feels right. And then we'll find stillness in the center. Sit tall. Release the arms down by your sides. We're going to take a deep inhalation as the arms come up overhead. Deep inhalation through the nose. Beautiful. Exhale, find those cactus arms. Lift your heart, pull the shoulder blades together. And then release the arms up towards the sky. Reach through the fingertips. And slowly float the arms back down. We'll find that flow again. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Nice deep inhalation. Exhale, cactus arms lift the heart, gaze goes up, shoulder blades come together. Inhale, arms come back overhead. This time we're going to find a twist. We're going to open both arms all the way to the left, one arm falling behind you, the other arm falling in front of you. And then we release from that side, bringing both arms overhead and open up for the twist on the other side. Left hand goes in front, right hand goes to back. We'll find this flow one more time. Both arms come up overhead. Drop them down for the twist. And then we bring it back up and open up to the other side. We're mobilizing the body before we stabilize and hold in our poses. Both hands come back up overhead. And this time we'll twist open to the left and we'll hold it here. So maybe you can walk that back hand in a little bit closer to your back, using it like a little kickstand. Maybe you can walk your front hand across to your left knee. You want your spine nice and straight and twist, so grow a little taller. And then maybe you can gaze out over your left shoulder. Take a couple breaths here. We release from the twist by keeping the front hand on that knee, bringing the back hand all the way around to the opposite knee. So now we have our arms crossed in front of us on both knees. And then we simply just reach our hands up behind our shoulders, walk your fingertips back, give yourself a big hug here, tuck your chin in, and round your back. Release from here with both arms up overhead. And then find a forward fold. Just walk your fingertips out. Blocks are great here. And just release into a forward fold. In this forward fold, see if you can bring some breath into the back of your body, filling up that space behind your heart, filling up your side lungs. And then we'll walk our fingertips back towards our hands. And if you are sitting in this crisscross position, switch your legs so we can make things even. And we'll just hold that twist on the other side. So sit nice and tall, release the arms down by the side. On an inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And then it's the left hand to the front, the right hand to the back, and we'll hold the twist. Option is to walk the back hand in a little bit closer. Option is to bring the front hand around to your right thigh, right knee. You can gaze out over your right shoulder. We release the same way. We keep the front hand on the knee. We bring the other one all the way across. And then you reach those fingertips up, walk them back as far as you can, tuck your chin, and release into a nice rounded back here. Take a full deep breath. Reach those arms overhead and fold forward, however that works or feels good in your body here. Notice as you fold forward that you probably lifted up from your hips and your sit bones. So at the same time you're folding forward, see if you can push yourself back. It's kind of a push-pull motion that's going on. So keeping the forward fold, see if you can settle back into your mat or the ground beneath you. And then we'll walk those fingertips back towards our legs. And we're going to make a transition to tabletop. So that's when we meet on hands and knees. It's great to use your blanket underneath your knees for extra support here. Take your time to arrive here. Let's set our foundation. We want to be stacked hips over knees and shoulders over wrists. And we want our fingertips nice and wide here, bringing pressure into the thumb and the index finger, and then pushing into the pads of all the fingers here. This is all done to really protect the wrists And then engage the core. And then we'll just start to round out our spine. On the inhale, we drop our belly, our gaze goes up, we find our cow, our tailbone's lifting. On the exhale, we push through our hands, we round our back, our gaze goes down to our belly button, crown of the head goes towards the ground. This is our cat. Flow through this cat-cow at your own pace. Deep inhalation, drops the belly. And then as you exhale, you round out your back. Pushing through your hands, making contact with the thumb and the index finger. Rolling this out a couple times. And then we'll meet with a flat back. Take your time to get there. Engage your core. And we're going to bring the left foot to the back. We're going to push through the heel. And then we drop the toes down to the ground or the mat. And we just rock back and forth here. Nice little stretch for the toes and the ankle. Find stillness here if you're rocking. Engage the core and lift that leg back up. We're going to bring the knee into the nose and find that nice round back. So it's an inhale, the knee comes in, we round our back, the knee goes towards the nose. Exhale, push through that heel. Engage the muscles in the leg here. We'll take that 2 more times. Inhale, round the knee in. Exhale, release. 1 more time. You can stay here with your foot behind you. If you want to bring the arm into the pose, you lift the right hand up. The right thumb points towards the ceiling or the sky. You're engaging your core. You're in a balancing pose. You might feel a little wobbly here. You're pulling towards the midline, engaging the muscles. Remembering to breathe. Beautiful. Drop that hand, drop that knee. And let's find our child's pose. So sit your hips back down in child's pose. Your knees can go wide or your knees can stay together, whatever feels best in your body. Walk your fingertips out in front of you. Your forehead can find the mat. It can find your fists. It can find a block. One more breath here in child's pose. Bringing that breath into the back of the body here. And then we come back to our tabletop. Set your foundation. We'll take that flow on the other side. Nice flat back. Reach the right foot to the back. Engage the muscles. Flex the foot. Push through the heel. And then drop the toes down and just rock back and forth. And we'll find some stillness here. We'll lift that right leg back up. And this time it's the knee to nose. So inhale, round it all in. Bring that knee towards your nose. Exhale, push through the heel, engage the muscles. 2 more times. And 1 last time. Option is to stay here, or you can shift the weight into the right hand, lift the left hand up, thumb goes towards the ceilings, and find your balancing pose here. Pulling to the midline. Beautiful. Release the hand and the knee. Curl your toes behind you. Walk your fingertips back. We're going to meet on high knees, so just take your time to get there. When you do, find your mountain pose, bringing your arms in front of you, growing nice and tall. And then we inhale, the arms come up overhead. Exhale, find those cactus arms. Inhale, bring the arms back overhead. And this time we circle our arms down and we let them rest on our lower back. We're going to take a little back bend here. So bring those elbows in, the fingers are pointing down. Grow nice and tall, find length in the upper body. And then just slowly, gaze can go up and just take a nice gentle back bend here. Release from the back bend. Bring your hands to your hips. And we're going to step the right foot forward for our low lunge. Uncurl the toes in the back foot. And then simply just find some mobility here. So push into all four corners of that front hip. Front foot. And then just find some movement here. Again, just kind of waking up the body. And then the next time that your knee comes forward, you can leave it there. Check in to see if your knee is stacked over your ankle, which gives you the most support. Push into all four corners of that foot. You can leave your arms down, or you can bring your arms up overhead. Let's drop that right hand down to the right thigh. Reach through the fingertips on the left and take a little side body stretch here. So lean those fingertips over to the right, opening up that left side body. Beautiful. Release with both hands back up overhead or on your waist. And then we drop our hands to frame that front foot. And we bring that front foot towards straight. It doesn't have to straighten out. We push the heel into the ground and we peel our toes back towards us. Books or blocks or anything that you brought here for a prop are great here because your spine can stay nice and long as you hinge forward. You'll feel that in your right hamstring. Remembering to breathe here, soften your face. Beautiful. We simply release from here by bending that front knee. We'll take a little twist here. The left hand stays on the ground. The right hand floats up. You can keep your back knee on the ground, or if you want to curl your toes and lift that back knee, you can do so. Release the right hand back down. And we'll meet back on our high knees so that right foot comes back to meet our left. And we walk our fingertips back and we meet on high knees. You can curl those toes for a little extra balance. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Find those cactus arms, lift your heart. Bring the arms back up overhead and float them down to your lower back for that back bend. Grow nice and tall, pull the elbows in, and then just gaze up. Beautiful. Release from here. Hands come to your waist, and you make your way forward with your left foot. You can uncurl your toes in the back and simply find some mobility and just listen to how your body's feeling. Just bring your attention inwards. And then we'll find stillness, and maybe you're bending that knee a little further forward, keeping your knee and ankle stacked. Hands can stay on your waist, or you can bring those arms up overhead. Push into all four corners of that front foot. Feel the muscles, the big muscles engage. You can drop the left hand down, reach through the right fingertips, find length in the body, and then open up that side body by leaning over to the left. Release from there. Both hands come up overhead. And then we release our hands down, frame that front foot, and we find our half splits. Take your time to scoot your left foot forward, push the heel into the mat, peel the toes back, And then release yourself over your front thigh, using blocks to assist you. Remembering to breathe. One more breath cycle here. We release from this side by bending that left knee. The right hand stays on the ground. The left hand floats up for the twist. Option is to tuck the toes behind you and lift that knee, your choice. Release that left hand down. If you have your knee up, drop that knee down. Bring your left knee back to meet your right. We're going to find our puppy pose from here. So you simply walk your hands out in front, about one palm print. Your hips stay high and stacked over your knees, and you simply sink yourself down towards the mat, finding that nice long spine, deep engagement under your arms here. Your chin or forehead might find the ground or a block. Take a couple deep breaths. We're going to release ourselves all the way down to our belly so the forearms come down to the ground and you scoop yourself through. We're finding our Sphinx pose here. We'll take just a moment to set our foundation. You want your shoulders and your elbows stacked here. And then let's find length in the back of our body. So pick up your legs and just reach your toes back and find length in both of your legs. Stretch out your body here. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. The knees come off the mat. And then you simply push into your elbows and you pull your forearms back as you scoop your heart forward. If this is too much in your lower back, you simply walk your hands further forward so that your ribs take some of the weight. So find that position that works for you. Remembering to breathe here. Beautiful. Release from here by making a little pillow with your hands, resting your forehead on that pillow, kicking your legs up behind you, and just windshield wiper them back and forth to take any tension out of the lower back. We'll find stillness here, release the legs back down. We're going to bring the arms underneath the shoulders, and we're simply going to make our way back to our child's pose. So just push yourself all the way back and find child's pose. Taking a couple deep breaths here. And then we're going to release from child's pose. And we're just going to come to a seated position. So just scoot your legs out in front of you. Find yourself in the middle of the mat because we're going to make our way back down to our backs. We'll take a forward fold first. Sitting up nice and tall in this Dandasana pose, pull those toes towards you, engage the muscles in the legs, sit up nice and tall. Arms come up overhead. And then simply release yourself into the forward fold, trying to keep the spine nice and long. We're hinging here at the hips. We're bringing the torso to the thighs. We're not necessarily rounding and bringing our head towards our knees. We spend all day rounded like that as we sit at our desks. So we're really trying to counter that position. Beautiful. We release from here. And you can bend your knees as you just simply guide yourself down onto your back. When you arrive there, walk your feet in a little bit closer. We're going to take a bridge pose, stretch out the front of the body here. Maybe your fingertips can touch your heels. Palms of the hands are facing down on the mat. Your feet are hip distance apart. Tuck your chin in, find length in the cervical spine. And then on an inhale, lift your hips up. Push into all four corners of both feet. If you want a little more engagement here and you want to tuck your shoulders underneath and interlace your fingertips here, see if you can lift your heart a little bit higher. One more breath here. And we release our hands and we slowly float down, upper, middle, lower back. We're getting ready for our final resting pose of Shavasana. If your body needs some other movement, take about 30 seconds to see, maybe just hugging in your knees, maybe a happy baby, grabbing the pinky toe sides of your feet and rocking back and forth. Maybe you feel like another twist, so just dropping the knees over to the left with cactus arms. Just take about 30 seconds here before we find our final resting pose of Shavasana to see what other movement your body needs. And when you're ready, you can hug those knees in one last time. Maybe bring your forehead up to your knees, scrunch up your face, scrunch up your fists and your toes, find tension in your body. And then release yourself into Shavasana, bringing your feet out to the corners of your mat, bringing your arms down by your sides, keeping them nice and wide so that there's nice broad shoulders here. Take up space on your mat. Find any blanket or props that are going to make you more comfortable. We'll just be here for about 2 or 3 minutes. Tuck your chin in, make sure that the base of your head is firmly supported by the ground beneath you. Let's all take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then sigh it out, release, let it go. And just let go of any breathing techniques and just surrender, let go into this final pose of Shavasana. You are more than welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. But if you are ready to end your practice, start to bring awareness back to your space. Start to bring your attention back to your breath. The invitation is to place one hand over your belly and one hand over your heart space. Just take a moment to notice your breath breathing you, the beating of your heart. And then start to find other gentle movements. wiggling toes and fingers, circling ankles and wrists, stretching toes towards the top of the mat, reaching your arms overhead, taking a nice long body stretch. When you're ready, hugging your knees in one last time, taking a big squeeze, rolling over to whichever side is most comfortable for you. Take a deep breath or two here. And then make your way back to a comfortable seated position. When you arrive here, sit tall. If you're comfortable, you can bring your hands to heart center. And take these last important moments of practice to really go inside and notice you, mind, body, breath, and heart. Notice if there's any more stillness, any more groundedness. Just know that you can make a connection to that and take that off your mat and into your day. We'll bow our head, bringing our thinking mind a little bit closer to the wisdom of our heart. Please bring a deep bow of gratitude to yourself for showing up for this practice. It is a joy to be here with you all. From my heart to yours, namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all.
Liz, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Such a beautiful way to start the day.
Yes, I agree. The back-to-back is lovely. Meditation and yoga.
Very nice. We had a lot of people here who had to leave to get off to work and other activities, with lots of people saying thank you to you. And from me and all of EMC, really, thank you so much. I hope we can do this again. It would be my goal that we can do something at least once a month for now.
Yeah, I'm happy to. And
Yeah.
And any feedback from the group, longer, shorter, more active, less active, is helpful. So however it works, I'm happy to be here with you all.
Thank you. I will ask the group who was here to offer feedback to see how we can best align with the needs of the community. For me, it was perfect.
Okay.
And I also
Me
do know
too.
that there is a
Okay.
very active yoga group here also. And so maybe we can, see how to engage everyone, maybe with a more gentle, maybe them with a more, I think there's all kinds of possibilities. Let's investigate them together.
Yes, I am very available to teach yoga to those that would like it.
Wonderful, Liz. Thank you so much. Blessings to everyone. I need to click off and get on to my day also. I feel so much more embodied and whole. I think during our practice, they just, was it US News or someone just made a declaration that Biden had won. So for those who want some kind of sanity from that perspective, I am very happy. Again, I never want anyone to lose. It's how we all benefit. So I'm hoping that this can contribute to everyone, no matter which side of the coin, the aisle you happen to be on. Sanity is a good thing. I'm looking forward to some of that. And thank you to all of you for your practice, and that we continue together is most important. Thank you all. I'm going to wave bye to everyone. Good to see you all. Our next practice will be Monday at 7:30 p.m. We will be there together. I look forward to that time then. Have a beautiful weekend. Everyone stay dry. Looks like it's not going to be raining for a while. If you had a walk plan, this might be a good time. Enjoy, everyone.
You too.
Thank you. Blessings.